One thing that I want to look at, I'll probably think about this on this trip a little bit for like 30 minutes. I really like the models that I have right now for trying to understand how people like think and feel, and like where their ideas and thoughts come from. I feel like they're relatively predictive, and like I can retrospectively apply them to things and like make predictions, which is pointless. See it going forward. Here's like one thing that none of my little modeling accounts for, and I have a really hard time understanding. Why do you think? So for all of the modeling stuff that I have, a prediction that I would make based on my understanding of how people feel about things is that basically anything Donald Trump says, people are going to follow. That they'll change their mind on almost any issue as long as he basically makes that position clear, and then people will fall in line. Why was Donald Trump not able to do that with vaccines? I'm so curious. I don't know I don't know if I have to look more at the time, because Donald Trump tried really hard to get people on board because he wanted credit for the vaccine stuff, but he couldn't do it. I wonder why not. I'm so interested about that very particular phenomenon. On the vaccine topic, I think you have to go back and challenge your original assertion that they'll believe anything he says. Maybe, but he changed so many minds on so many things so quickly. And I don't know if there's an explainer for every single individual thing other than it came from Trump. But I don't know. Maybe there is. Or maybe it's like, as long as Trump is anti-establishment, they'll believe him. And for most of Trump's stuff, he is anti-establishment. But when Trump sides with the establishment, people don't believe him. Maybe that's it. Maybe it has to be Trump plus, or when Trump is channeling the anti-establishment energy, maybe. Could it be because he downplayed the virus before the vaccine was developed, and so when it was developed, the government pushed it, they were skeptical? Why do we need this vaccine for something inconsequential, and why are you pushing it so hard? Maybe. I don't know. Does the Trump New York court case not interest you? It seems like something worth covering other than Israel-Palestine. A little bit. I read a little bit relating to it when it was coming out and him like violating the gag orders. I don't know. I feel like I'm slowly being like, I feel like I'm being turned a little bit, and that like maybe it was a good idea to pursue this case. Just seeing how unhinged Trump has been in regards to it, and then thinking more like, if Biden was like making hush money payments to some star and then like misappropriating campaign funds to do so, and then ordering somebody to lie about how those funds were being misappropriated, like the Republicans would be making a really big deal about it. Maybe that is something that's worth thinking about. Did you do immigration already? Yep. Trump spent his entire career undermining/removing trust in the establishment, so his followers are obviously primed to go in that direction. You can't undo years of poisoning the well in a few months. They are still following. Sure. Careful when you say entire career, though. He's spent his whole political career undermining the establishment, but that political career really started, in my opinion, in like 2015. Kenshi 2? I'm sorry, I don't know what vaporware you're talking about. Trump, I don't recall Trump ever being like anti-establishment when he was on like The Apprentice. I think The Apprentice was also really important because he engendered a ton of goodwill. I think everybody loved The Apprentice, and everybody loved Trump on The Apprentice too. That was like a cultural phenomenon. You're fired. If you watch closely to him when he promotes the vax, you'll see him wink at the audience, so they know he's just avoiding criticism from the deep state. Okay. It's crazy how much he's ignored the gag order. Any other person would be in jail right now. True. I think you have it backwards. Trump took positions that already resonated with conservatives, but he just miscalculated with the vaccines. I disagree. Making fun of, I know it's hard if you're a younger person, and I'm not trying to like young. It's more just like remembering what conservatives said back then. It's not you personally if you're age, just remembering. Making fun of veterans was such an that was like, when I was following the election stuff, the making fun of veterans was a bigger deal than the grab them by the pussy thing, in my mind, for conservatives. Like the whole back of the Iraq war and everything that came after was conservatives constantly saying like, I support our troops, I support our troops, I support our troops, that we support the troops. You just start, you don't support the war? You don't support the troops. It was just like the biggest thing ever. And for him to walk out and like make fun of McCain and or make fun of like prisoners of war, that's just like an unbelievable thing. That was a bigger deal than the grab him by the, I couldn't believe that. And conservatives, for the most part, like followed Trump completely through that. Same thing with the Russia stuff. Prior to anything having to do with Trump, conservatives were so boogeyman on Russia. Like, people talk about Russiagate. People don't remember like the first Russiagate. The first Russiagate was Hillary Clinton with Uranium One. I think that story, that meme, that conspiracy, I think that predated any sort of Russia collusion. If I'm remembering the ordering events right, I think that predated any Russian collusion hoax or anything that people had accused Trump of. Conservatives were so scared about Russia, but then post Trump, like nobody cared anymore. Uranium One. Yeah, Uranium One. There was some company where Hillary Clinton sat on the board of this company or something. But basically, the story was that Hillary Clinton unilaterally sold all of our uranium reserves to Russia for nuclear weapons so that they can defeat us in a war. I think that was like the meme. It was a big talking point prior to 2016. Yes. What about Obama saying something along the lines of like, we will have more wiggle room after the election to Putin? He did say that. I mean, but that's true though. There's nothing like weird or conspiratorial about that. Like you have more positions to talk. You've got more wiggle room to have a conversation with somebody post-election. Pre-election, like everything politically is very, very, very sensitive. Mitt Romney said that Russia was the U.S.'s biggest threat in the debate against Obama in 2012. Yeah. Obama also let Putin annex Crimea and part of the Donbass. Yeah, kind of. But I think after the Iraq war, there was just no flexibility for U.S. politics to do anything involving foreign intervention. I just don't think the U.S. public would have supported any of it. We don't really care about Ukraine. We don't really care about Syria. I think one of the big foreign policy blunders, and then even for Gaddafi and Libya, right? We like bombed them, kicked them out, and then got out immediately. No nation building. That country my understanding is Libya got pretty post Gaddafi's removal because we didn't stay for all afterwards. I think one of the most embarrassing foreign policy blunders of Obama was who was I talking to? Task and Purpose. I think he agreed with this because I asked him what he thought it was, and he said it. Yeah, what I was thinking of was the red line that we put for Assad. If you use chemical weapons one more time, that's it. And he did it, and we didn't do anything. It was like, well, us, I guess. How strongly do you feel about your claim that if Trump would be reelected, he would, such will attempt to remain in office for a third term, even though he'd have no argument to do so? I think he would if he could. But I think honestly the biggest roadblock is going to be his age. I feel like he probably wouldn't, but it's not going to be because he can't figure out how to do it, and it's not going to be because he doesn't have the desire to do it. I think it's going to be because he's going to be really old if he were to win this next election, which I still don't think he will. He's 77 now. If he won the election, he would basically be 80, 81 by the end. What is Biden? 81? Jesus, these guys. God damn. How do you keep yourself from becoming a Trump cuck like many other ex-leftists? I'm usually really good at evaluating once I've had like a day or two off of something. Like I definitely can be emotionally driven in the moment. I can be very emotionally driven in the moment. But then once I've had like a day or two of separation, I'll deliberately look back and I'll be like, okay, well, what's going on here? So that I don't get pushed too far or pushed at all by people that I don't like or have respect for. I'm pretty good at that. I think I'm exceptionally good at that, actually.